Welcome to Morning Infusion with Dr. V. Have you ever wondered what to do to transform your own life? My name is Dr. Viola Pierce. I'm the owner and the CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer and the facilitators of Secret Suppers Worldwide with Dr. V, where our goal is to teach nurses to leverage the knowledge that they already know, working from their computers around the world, making money and owning their own time. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals and to show up exceptional on a daily basis. Know that one of the goals of Morning Infusion with Dr. V is to expose you to leaders that have overcome so that you know that the possibilities are endless. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave a comment if you were ever told that you would not succeed. And remember to hit the calendar link above if you want to create another stream of income and enroll in our 12-week course, VP Nursing Business Academy. Our special guest today is Kara Sakina. So we met on Clubhouse, and from the very beginning, like we connected, and like I feel like we have been friends all our lives, and we will be friends for the rest of our lives.
I know that is such a gift, right?
It is. She is a street smart, savvy, straight talk strategist that thrives off of sharing her experience to change lives. She is sought after by Fortune 10 companies for her creative and innovative approach to strategic planning and implementation. Kara is certified by John Maxwell as a DISC behavioral consultant in his leadership coaching program. Also a graduate of the CAP Institute of Coaching and Positive Psychology and Personal Development Coaching. In technology, she is certified by Scrum Alliance as an Agile Scrum Master, and in the faith sector, certified in biblical entrepreneurship via the Nehemiah Project. Her vision is inspiring unity in business with leaders and teams for a culture of transformation. Her vision is to be the world-leading transformation agency, equipping 1 million people to win within their sector and innovate with confidence. I love it. I love it. I love it. So welcome. Thank you so much.
We worked hard on that last week, because sometimes as leaders, we don't want to admit or want to hire, people to come in and help supplement what we have going on. And I realized because, I've been blessed to have a diverse background and different passions and things of that nature, to try to get that down to one message was the effort. And I found the agency in the UK to kind of help me get my vision and mission statement nailed down. So thank you for reading that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So now we usually feature healthcare professionals. However, every now and then, I meet someone who is so dynamic and their story is so compelling that I know that the audience will benefit from their expertise. And that is definitely you for sure. When we first met, you
your background. I don't know if you saw my follow-up there.
That's right.
I started in healthcare. I actually started from the bottom. I'm a self-made person. I started in medical billing. So you being a nurse, you know what that means, right? So in the 90s, but depending on where you want to take this, that's where I started. And that's how I got into technology and all of that. So yeah, I actually was in healthcare consulting from 90, I got out of school in 93. So I started billing in like 95 all the way up through 2006.
Okay. Look at you working it out. I love it. I love it. So you're our people, is what you're saying.
Yes, I get your world and I am your people.
So tell me, so now when we first met, you said that you came from a home of domestic violence. Tell me what kinds of things would happen, and just tell me how you would feel in those moments.
Well, I just think that, as children, I kind of look back at my childhood and it's like a weird paradox because I had, this faith-based, mother. We were in church every Sunday and, she, despite having, degrees and being honored by Penn State and all of these different things, she still had to work an extra job, to make sure that we had, what we needed. And then, a father that, I think just really taught me that when people don't deal with their trauma, or their PTSD, then it ripples onto everybody else. And so one of the things that I'll say that growing up and I'm blessed because it wasn't constant, it wasn't forever. But I naturally realized probably at the age of 8 that I was a leader, because here I am, defending my mom, in this situation, and I felt like I had to be a protector. And I think that's something that, still kind of goes to this day. Even when I get, if I talk about in the faith-based sector, I'm very passionate and protective of people who, maybe hearing people that aren't telling the truth or misleading them or trying to take their money, right? So that same instinct kind of still travels with me. And I think sometimes in your youth, experiences bring out who you are, even when you don't, maybe not be beautiful.
I think that one of the things that is valuable is that, as we are growing up, acknowledging, those past hurts, acknowledging what we went through is huge, right? Whether it be little or whether it be big, because those little things affect you in the same way sometimes as those big things affect you. And acknowledging that and saying, okay, this is what happened. This is how we need to move forward, and growing through the experience, right? I tell the story about how I was in the emergency department, and I had a bunch of, like a lot of things going on within the emergency department, and understanding that it doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, right? Understanding that thing, understanding that if you take it from that vantage point, if you take it from the vantage point that this is, just think about who you're going to affect in the end, because you have went through such things. It's huge, huge, huge. So now, so how did this affect you as you grew older?
I think that there was probably a lot worse things that happened other than that. So for me, it was just like, one of those things. And I think a lot of people who are survivors or overcomers, they begin to just kind of tick it off the list and keep pushing. We didn't grow up in a home of, self-pity or, woe is me, or we have this problem, let's, all sit down and, fall apart. That just wasn't an option. Right. So, as I grew up and I faced other challenges in my life, even though it wasn't something that I would wish on anyone else. And like I said, I'm sure people have way worse experiences than I did. I will say that in my adult life, especially in how I dealt with relationships and how I dealt with trusting people, things of that nature, I had to do some self-work. And that's where I kind of get into my personal transformation during the last years, which is really kind of identifying what are some of the triggers, or what are some of the things that may be residue, or that I may view things differently based on my experience. And I think we all have that. I mean, some people who had a perfect childhood, they almost have like a Pollyanna look at the world, right? Or say their father was really great. Well, he was great to you, but you really don't know how he was to his mother. Didn't your mother. You didn't date him, right? Or you weren't married to him. So, right? No, like seriously. And I think the last 4 years, I studied a lot of different, I'm an avid learner, so different psychologists and therapists, and not just from a domestic abuse perspective, but more just how you relate to yourself, how you relate to God, how you relate to other people, and healing all of that, I think is really important. So I don't want somebody to hear this and say, well, I didn't go through that, so I'm tuning out, because really it applies to any type of situation that you had to overcome in your life that you didn't expect, or that you were kind of dumped into. And then really dealing with that self-work and self-actualization, healing and obviously I did it from a spiritual and practical perspective, to be able to develop a plan to change my life, because I looked up one day and I was, I think I shared with you, chasing all these success metrics, and I hit them all, but I was overweight, I was broken, I didn't know my purpose. And so I kind of had to trash my life and start all over again. And now here I am today. So I think it all works together for our good.
And that just segues right into our next question, because we discussed that you were 300 pounds, which I can't believe, but okay. 300 pounds. Oh my God.
I have a picture. I have the picture.
she said, I'm gonna prove to you, Viola. And was told and was told that you would never walk again. What are some of the motivating factors that led to lifestyle changes that forever changed where you were in life?
Yeah, I mean, it was like a culmination. One of the things I'll say about almost being, 300 pounds is that, like, I was fine. Like the funny part of it is that I was still getting really good, successful. Man, you couldn't tell me that I wasn't fine. You know what I mean? Like, I had great confidence. I was, still doing my thing. So it's kind of funny. Like, my fiance at the time, he was 6'6", attractive, very affluent. Like, couldn't tell me I was good, but in realizing, obviously that I had some bad discs in my back, which was causing severe pain. And they were telling me that, just be prepared, in the next 3 to 5 years, you're not going to be able to, walk and da. And just like I was sharing with my past, I just didn't receive it. I was just like, I hear you, but that's not going to be me. And I wish I could say I immediately popped up like toast and came up with a workout plan and decided to eat better, but that's not the truth. That's not what happened. I mean, when you hear other people's stories, like, then one day I woke up in an angel and, but that's not what happened. What happened is that I kept living my life, and I got to that moment that I shared with you where, I feel like when it's your time, you will get that nudge on the shoulder and life will halt and it will get your attention. And, it was an experience that if you've ever had an encounter, you will never forget it, and you will realize that you can no longer go down this path. And so I really didn't go into the self-transformation trying to lose the weight. That's the point I'm trying to make. I went into the transformation realizing, like, I can't be broken. I've got to find my purpose. I got to restore my spiritual life. And that pursuit, the weight came off. Like, that's the part that I was trying to say. Not saying I never went for a walk or anything like that, but it wasn't the flip. It wasn't like, oh, I got to lose this weight. It was, oh, I got to fix the inner me. And in the process of fixing the inner me and finding my purpose, like, obviously you begin to take better care of yourself because you love yourself more, right? And that's how those habits, evolved.
I love it because, the reality is that, and, we talk about this all the time, is pouring from your overflow, right? And so in order for you to be able to pour into these Fortune 10 companies, which I'm fairly impressed, you really need to be able to do the work yourself, right? You need to be able to do that inner work yourself in order to be able to pour out into other people, because pouring out into other people can be draining, right? And so you have to make sure that you're pouring from your saucer and not your cup in order to be able to do that effectively and efficiently so that you come home and that you're good. And I tell the story about me being on the plane when we were going to New Orleans I think it was for the first time. And my little girl was, I don't know, she was a year old. And I remember walking onto that plane, and I got on the plane, and, this was probably second time I'd flown in my entire life. And I didn't, although I wanted to have 4 children, I had one, right? Because I was like, look, this whole pregnancy process is not good for me. Okay. I don't know why people think that it's good, but it is. It's not good. Okay. Another human born, growing in your body is just not natural. And I remember walking on that. It is not natural.
I just had to pause. You said it's not natural.
It is not. There's nothing natural about that. And so I got on the plane, and when I got on the plane, the lady said, she came on the speaker, she was like, if the oxygen mask comes down, you put the oxygen mask on yourself. She didn't give me a rationale for it. And I was like, she done lost her mind. She don't understand what I went through. Like, I was the first one who had been pregnant ever, right? So, just naive, just real stupid, right? Yeah. And so sure enough, now I understand the reason why she said put the oxygen mask on yourself is because you got to put it on yourself in order to be able to pour into other people. Yeah. My child would have been left flailing had I not put that oxygen mask on myself, it had that
Mm-hmm.
opportunity presented itself. So yes, that's for sure. So Nancy, you said that you were living in that penthouse apartment and busy chasing the boardroom. Why do you think you were chasing the boardroom so hard?
I think it's because of how I grew up. I was chasing, so I don't know, was it Dallas? I think that's what it was. So I was going to be Alexis Carrington. Do you remember that? Was it Alexis Carrington? Was it Dallas? I can't remember.
I think so. I think so.
Honey, you couldn't tell me growing up with, the little bit of baby change we had, that I was not going to be that woman in the boardroom presenting to, the board or the CEO and getting it all together. And to this day, my family, they tease me. They said, Kara, how did you find a career that you just naturally did when you were a kid? So I guess I was like in project management as a child. You know what I mean? As a child, I was like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that, And that's one thing I'll say to a lot of parents out there. You'll be surprised the gifts in your children will manifest now. And when you see those things, call them out, develop them, in your child. So that's just a little side note. But yeah, so because as I said, I grew up faith-based, so I didn't really understand because I believed, but yet everybody was so poor. And so I was like, okay, this is not making sense. So I'm going to not be poor. So, Lord, I love you. You with me, but I'm going to right. And because I really, and to this day, I have a passion for faith-based leaders because they don't have exposure into the boardroom, into these, methodologies and principles and scalability and all of these things, a lot of them. And unfortunately, because of Prosperity Gospel, they think they can just pray and it will manifest, right? And then in my group, have people who are killing it, but then they were like me, who had it all, had the money, had the man, had the penthouse, had the thing, but then were completely broken and empty and like, what am I doing with my life? And so those are the people that I'm trying to find, help them bring type of semblance of balance and expertise into their lives. That's what I'm personally passionate about. But yeah, I was chasing that because, I thought that was success. And I think a lot of people, especially in this social media age, they're looking to define success outside of themselves when the answer of what success is within you.
That's exactly right. Yeah. That's exactly right. You are so, I know we're going to be friends for the rest of our lives.
I know. Sure. I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, Kara.
So you are an entrepreneur now. Now, what is your ideal customer? How do you help them?
Well, so as I was sharing, my background, the last 20 years has been in project management. I've been in 8 industries. If it can be built, if it can be done, if it's a system, a thorough building, I've done it. I've been very, very blessed. Now I'm transitioning into the coaching and consulting space. And really, so what I would be doing with corporations, what I do with small business leaders, and what I do with individual leaders is the same thing. That's what I realized. And it's transformation. It's coming in and looking at the leader, it's looking at the team, it's looking at their goals, coming up with a roadmap and a plan and a strategy and providing that to them. And so my ideal customer right now is someone that maybe their business is good news. It's growing out of control. They're in a place where, maybe they were able to be a solopreneur and now they're like, oh my God, I need help. I need systems. I need to get some things streamlined. If you're a corporation and you're in the big tech or big business process space, we could serve you in that nature as well. But again, if it just goes down to passion, I just love leaders because I feel like leaders never feel like they could say, I'm all that, but I need to fix this. And that's where I create a safe space for them to come and say, okay, let's prioritize what you want to fix. Because I don't know about you, Dr. V, but I mean, is there kind of like 25 categories in your life that you can fix like right now?
Right.
Honestly, you could be like, okay, I could eat better. I could sleep better. And that can be overwhelming, right? Just even from a personal development perspective. So that's my passion. That's who I'm looking to serve. And I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did. So now, when someone is going into leadership for the first time, what is some advice that you would give to a new leader?
I don't know if they want my advice because I'm unconventional, and that's why I have a lot of respect in the C-suite. People wonder why I can get their time, because I understand. Maybe because I was in corporate sales when I was in healthcare as well for Cigna, and I learned way back then that they don't have a lot of time, and you need to know what your purpose of conversation is. And that doesn't mean be stiff, still bring your personality, but making sure that you have your 2 bullets or your 3 bullets that you need to get across and that it's worth their time. And one of the things that I would say too, now it may take some growing into this, but I'm known for speaking truth to power. So when our project's going left, or, we're $5 million over budget, or, whatever, tech just comes back with a new estimate, they send me because they know that I'm going to say, hey, you all know that you asked us for a guesstimate, because people like to forget. They like to forget, you all know that you said, just guess, just tell us. But then when we come back and say, hey, we got the real numbers, everybody wants to be upset, right? So I remind them of the journey. But my point is that, don't be afraid to speak truth to power with solutions.
That's right.
Don't come in with the problem.
That's right. That's right.
Come in with a solution, even if it's trash. At least it gives them some type of outline to work with. That's what I would tell a new leader. Don't be afraid to speak truth to power, but have value and have some type of solution.
Yes, that is very valuable. I had something that happened with my with my mom, as a matter of fact, in the healthcare setting, and I was very intent on being, coming in with a solution to the problem, because I understand healthcare. I understand that it is not perfect. I mean, people come into healthcare and they think, well, it's perfect. But the reality is that there's nothing that is perfect. Nothing. And so in order for us, we have to keep trudging and keep moving forward to those solutions, as you mentioned, so that we're able to create a better platform, a better space for everyone involved. So yes. So what are some social media influencers that you admire? What are some of the reasons that you follow and admire them so well?
I laugh because, again, I said I'm unconventional. So I don't want to sound all super deep and spooky spiritual, but I adore TD Jakes, not only because, but so I went and did a mentorship that he did a couple years ago, because he covered all sectors of the world, and that's what I want to do. So he covers, media, business, leaders, faith, movies, music, entrepreneurism. You know what I mean? It's not just one dimensional. And so I like that. And not only has he done that for himself, but he's created a legacy that now his children are walking that, each in their own flavor, right, in their own way. And I believe that he and I have a similar worldview of a holistic life, right? A holistic approach. Anytime he does stuff, he sees multiple experts, right? Like it's a holistic approach to a lifestyle or situation. So that would be one. And then I like innovation. So I was looking at the question about books and things, and I'm like, I have a book here. It's called Unqualified by Stephen Furtick, right? How God uses broken people to do big things, But I'm one of those people that I'll just flip and read a little bit of it and then move on to something else, because I get what I need and I keep going. But I love to learn. So when other people are relaxing and they're like binging on some series, I'm binging on like Digital Marketer. I'm binging on, learning. So that would be my thing. I would say that that's probably who I follow social media wise, but I'm not really big, as you can see, probably on my Instagram and social media, but I'm now learning to do so.
Well, I love it. So that's the book that you have read by Stephen Furtick. Is there another book that has positively affected your career?
Oh yeah. I mean, I would say, from a business perspective, obviously people always quote the 4-hour work week. I read that, probably almost 10 years ago.
And what is it called now again?
4-hour work week by Tim, starts with an F. Tim, I can't remember I'll ping you his last name, but all you got to do is do the 4 Hour Work Week. Everybody knows that book. I would also say some other books, that really kind of got my mind going. Obviously, Think and Grow Rich. People always talk about that. The classics, right? But for me, it's conversations with leaders. Like, I've been blessed to be exposed to a lot of C-suite or senior people, and I've served leaders since I was a child, whether it was in ministry or even when I had a job. I didn't mind doing what the other people didn't want to do, right? Just to be next, just to be around, just to be mentored. So I had a lot of unofficial mentors that people didn't know about. But in those conversations, that exposure, and I wanted to go back to your question about the number one thing that I would tell a new leader. Relationships. That is, now, I don't mean this whole fake relationship thing, like, oh, LinkedIn me, oh, I'll LinkedIn, no. Or, hey, let's connect, great, let me tell you about my new program. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna get you anywhere. You've got to be, like, when people do that to me, it's like, if I look at their profile and I think they have something going for themselves, I'll just be honest with them and say, listen, sweetie, what you need to do is take your time, not try to eat for today, but try to eat for a lifetime. Meaning, take your time, get to know the person. What value can you bring to their lives? In worst case scenario, you sow good ground. You sow into your own, future. That's the worst thing that can happen. And the best thing that can happen is to great things with them. So yeah, that's. I just wanted to go back to that question, because a lot of people don't realize the other part that I would say is, it's not who you know, but it's who knows you.
That is sweet. That is so sweet. It is all about relationships. I mean, and at the end of the day, you really have to embrace those relationships and understanding that those relationships are super important. And so I'm all about those relationships. Now, where can the audience find you, my friend?
Well, right now we are in transition. So I'm really excited. I was just getting a message from the graphic designer. We're redoing our site. And as I said, I hired a company in the UK to rebrand us. And so right now I would say the best way to find me is on the gram or in Clubhouse. And I'm at Kara Sakina. So it's at KaraSakina. That's the best way to find me. I'm in Clubhouse all the time, or on Instagram, I'm at Kara Sakina Transforms. And the reason why I say that is because my site's there, my email still works, but I just like a representation of who we are as a company and a brand. But I've been blessed over the last 6 years that we didn't need online, because we just had referral business and work with other people offline. So I didn't really pay attention.
But Kara is a powerhouse on Clubhouse. I mean,
don't you sell yourself short. Don't let her fool you. I'm looking at this clock. I'm like, don't let her fool you. I mean, she was a dynamic. Like, she came on the stage and it was just like, who is this? I'm like, and I had no idea that we would do this, but I authentically just wanted to talk with her and see, hey, what are you about? How can I support you? And who knew that, we would have this conversation even on her platform. That was not my intent. I just heard her, which is what I love about that platform. You could hear the passion, hear the person. And I was like, wow, look at everything she's doing. And then I hear you in my state, not even, I want to say my city, because I mean, how far is it? Is it 20 miles?
Well, it ain't 20 miles. It's a few hours, couple hours. But anyway, I know that whenever I come there, I am coming to see Kara. For sure.
But I just want to thank you for being such a light and creating a platform. And I guess my question to you is, how can I serve you? What can I do to help you grow? What do you have coming up? How can we support what you have going on?
Well,
that, but I'm going to do that anyway.
I love it that you said that. But one of the things that it's just kind of for us to really be in the same space a lot of times, right?
Mm.
Because I love learning from people just as you do, right? I learning from what you have done and kind of the things that you have, where you have come from, right? It's not necessarily an ask, but I just think that you're the sum total of the five people you hang out with the most, right? And you want to really, really hang out with people who are influential, people who are going places, people who are doing things in order for you to be able to be in that space, right? Because at the end of the day, and I say this all the time, that I serve my family. The whole reason why I do what I do is because of my family, period, point blank in the story. And so one of the things that I want to make sure that I do is help them to understand how these relationships are formed, because, you as a brown girl, sometimes, or as a woman in general, sometimes what happens is we don't support each other. We're not there for each other sometimes. And I think that showing that representation of that is huge, huge, huge. So we are watching the clock. And so we're
I
a
know.
little bit over. But we had a great time, as I knew that we would.
We've got to do this again. And I would love to have you on my podcast. So I'm excited. We're scheduling that in the next 2 weeks to start season 2. So I'm excited about having you on. And I actually have leaders in every industry because I'm building a network. So if you have health questions or you're trying to start a business, because I feel like no matter what you do, who you are and your life experiences bring skills to the table that I would not have. And that's what I want to connect people to.
So now what is the name of the podcast so that everyone knows?
It's called The Leader's Couch and it's on iTunes. We haven't put it up a little bit. It's there if you want to check it out.
Okay. The Leader's Couch. Okay, cool. So my name is Dr. Viola Pierce. I'm the owner and the CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer and the facilitators of Secret Suppers Worldwide with Dr. V, where our goal is to teach nurses to leverage the knowledge that they already know, working from their computers, owning their own time, making money. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals and to show up exceptional on a daily basis. Know that one of the goals of Morning Infusion with Dr. V is to expose you to leaders such as Kara that have overcome, so that you know that the possibilities are endless. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave a comment if you were ever told that you would not succeed. And remember to click the calendar link above if you want to create another stream of income and enroll in our 12-week course, VP Nursing Business Academy. You guys have a phenomenal day.